generational complaint, as the lament of someone who believes things were simply better before and have declined in a straight line toward the present. I say it as an observation about what I see when I look at the texture of contemporary life. In every country I visit, in every conversation I have with people who are trying to live faithfully in circumstances that make faithfulness genuinely difficult. We are surrounded by more voices than any human generation in history has ever had to navigate. More opinions, more information, more noise arriving through more channels at more hours of the day and night than our grandparents could have imagined possible. We carry in our pockets devices that give us access to the utterance of every person on the planet who has chosen to speak publicly at any moment, without filter or pause or the natural limitation that geography and technology once imposed on how much human speech could reach us. And what this has produced, in ways I think we are only beginning to fully understand, is a paradox. More voices have not produced more listening. They have produced less, because the capacity for genuine attention is not infinite, and when it is divided across hundreds of inputs, it becomes too thin to do what attention is supposed to do, which is to actually land on something, to actually receive what is being communicated, to actually be changed by the encounter with another person's reality. We scroll, we skim, we react quickly, reflexively, with the speed that the platforms reward and the speed that the volume of content seems to demand. And in the scrolling and the skimming and the reacting, we process an enormous amount of what other people have said without ever genuinely hearing any of it, without ever allowing any of it to penetrate to the place where things actually change us. And this is happening not only in our relationship to the noise of the world, it is happening in our most intimate relationships. Husbands and wives sitting in the same room, each holding a screen, present to each other only in the most technical sense. Parents who love their children with ferocity and genuine devotion, who nevertheless find, when they are honest with themselves, that they cannot remember the last time they sat with a child without some part of their attention being elsewhere. Friends who talk to each other for an hour and come away feeling oddly unsatisfied, as if the conversation, for all its length and its surface warmth, never quite touched what needed to be touched. And it is happening in our relationship with God, perhaps most damagingly there, because prayer at its core is an act of listening, not only speaking, not the recitation of our needs and requests and praises, though all of that is real and important and received, but listening, creating the interior silence in which the voice that is always speaking, always present, always addressing us with a specificity and a tenderness that no human voice can match, can actually be heard. And when does that happen? When do we create that silence? When do we give God not the 7 distracted minutes before our eyes close at night, but the sustained, genuine, unhurried attention that we give without even thinking about it to a screen? This is what I mean when I say we have forgotten how to listen. I do not mean we are bad people. I mean we are people formed by an environment that has systematically eroded the capacity for the kind of attention that makes listening possible. And we have not fully reckoned with what that erosion costs us. In our relationships, in our inner lives, and in our relationship with the God who has been speaking to us continuously, whose voice has been available to us constantly, and who we have been too distracted to hear. Lent is the season in which we reckon with that cost, and the reckoning